All right, today we're going to be talking about the equation of a circle. The equation of a circle. So this is how you would graph it. Realize for the equation of a circle, there's only two things you need. You need a center, right? You've got to be able to graph that center point, and you need a radius. Okay, so there's only two things you need is a center and a radius. This right here is your standard form for the equation of a circle. Notice that your center point, they call it HK, right? HK, there's your center point, and then your radius. Notice that everything's squared, right? This squared plus this squared equals this squared. What else did I want to say? Oh, notice your center point, right, is an x coordinate and a y coordinate. Notice your h goes with your x, your k goes with your y. So they kind of do stay with the same variable. So when you're looking at a problem, if we're looking at a graph here, we see that our center is at, what is this, 2, 4, 5, -2. So here we go, there's our center at 5, -2. If you want to find your radius, you just count. So from this center point, remember you're counting by 2. See, this is 2, this is 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So we have a radius of 8. Right, and you're just counting from here. Oops, I think I clicked a button. It is 1, and 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, and then you plug into your equation. So remember it's x minus and whatever the x value is for your center point. So x minus 5 squared. And then again, it's y minus whatever your y coordinate is. So y minus, in this case, -2 equals r squared equals 8 squared. Now you do have to pretty it up. So x minus 5 squared is going to stay. That's going to stay x minus 5 squared. There's nothing to pretty up here. But minus negative turns into y plus 2 squared. And 8 squared is 64. So down here, this would be the equation for the circle that's graphed. Okay. You also have to be able to work in reverse. If I give you the equation, you have to be able to pluck out the center and the radius. So you have to say, I have a positive 5 and a -2. All right, think opposite. Think opposite because this minus sign over here makes things a little more complicated. So just think opposite of what you plugged in. So this looks like a -5. We plugged in a positive 5. Plus 2, plugged in a -2. All right, so you should be able to pull out your center point, and you should be able to pull out your radius. Remember, you just take the square root. All right, we said r squared. The opposite of squaring is square rooting. So if you're here, square root of 64 is 8. My radius is 8. All right, so you've got to be able to work forwards and backwards, either plugging into or taking out of the equation. So this one says graph. So we're actually going to practice some graphing here. So we've got to be able to take out our center. We need our center, and we need our radius. So our center, remember, think opposite. So positive 1, we're going to think -1. And -2, we're going to think positive 2. Radius, radius, remember this is r squared, so 16 is r squared, right? R squared is 16. So you take the square root, our radius is 4, because 4 squared got me 16 when I plugged it in. Once you have your center and your radius, you're good to go. So we're going to graph our center, -1, so left 1, positive 2, up 2. It does not like me graphing. There we go. And then we're going to count out our radius. Now my advice is just from that center point, count up, down, left, right. Right? So from that center point, up 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm just going to put a little placeholder there because we got to draw a circle. We're going to go left 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3, 4. There, you'll get there. Okay. And we're going to go right. 1, 2, 3, 4. Now remember, you're drawing a circle, right? You're drawing a circle with this as your center point, -1, 2, and going through all these. Now my circle is going to look terrible. Hopefully you're better at circles than me. This is very hard on this software. But that should be a circle. I'm sorry, guys. I can try again, but doubtful that it'll be any better. Okay, let's try that again. Maybe I'll get a little bit closer. Alright, we'll try this again. Nope, I'm already swiggling. You get the gist. It's a little bit better. A little bit better. But it should look like a circle, okay? It should look like a circle. Again, radius in all directions was 4, and my center point was -1, 2. Okay? And then we should also be able to write the equation of the circle. So my advice when you're writing the equation is to start off kind of like Pythagorean theorem. A squared plus B squared equals C squared. Because a lot of times what I notice students forget is the squares, right? Those exponents. Now remember, this was an X, this was a Y. So it's your X coordinate of your center point. So we're going to say X minus, in this case, 0. And Y minus, in this case, 6. Right, so there's my center point plugged in. And my radius is 1. And then you pretty it up. X minus 0 is just X squared. Y minus 6, we're going to leave that as Y minus 6 squared. And 1 squared is 1. Okay. This is a good time to point out whenever you have a coordinate of 0. Notice it's just X squared because you're not subtracting anything. So if you're subtracting nothing, it would be a 0. A lot of times if you're centered at the origin, so if something is centered at the origin, you'll see like X squared plus Y squared equals, let's say, 25. Okay. That means your center is at 0, 0. Right? Your center is 0, 0, 0, your radius is 5. So just being able to plug into that equation or take out of that equation, that's what we're interested in today. And graphing, sorry. So now the rest of this is you. So here you're going to pull out the center and the radius. Here you're going to pull out your center and your radius. I want to see center is this, radius is this, and then sketch. Same concept here. Pull out your center and your radius and sketch it. Here you're going to, again, pull out your center, pull out your radius, and then you're going to write the equation, just like we just did in the last one. And then here they give you a center and a radius, and you're going to write the equation from there. All right? So that's it for today. Go ahead and finish that up and get that uploaded.